What about making your sound better?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, basically what we're going to be doing is continuing the process of, subtracting some of those negative frequencies. Okay. We're going to work with the bass and then we're going to work with the melody instruments. All right. So I'm going to pull ahead and pull on the bass or unclick the bass. And it's really the same process. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that's when you're really going to use your ears. If you cut too much of the frequencies and maybe some of the high end frequencies that needed to give that instrument some oomph, you don't want to cut all of those frequencies. Just tail off some of them, you know what I mean? Same thing with this sub. And you keep on going down the list. All right, so what we're going to do now is just undo the melody and let's start working on that. Now, see, on this instrument, we want to kind of still keep some of that low end. So instead of taking it all the way in like this, you might want to tail it off like this. So it kind of has a gradual tail off on that. Okay, same thing over here. Okay, and one key tip I want to really drive home on here is not to just only look at your meters, okay, or look at this particular frequency range spectrum right here. Pay attention to the actual sound. You're mixing with your ears. That's the only thing that I really want to drive home on this is you want to mix with your ears. Yes, we're using this as a gauge, but mix with your ears. So if you're taking out too many of the lows or too many of the highs, pull that back some. Now, for these bells, it's pretty much going to be around the same thing. So what you could do is a quick tip is go to copy right here. And then when you come over here to this EQ, you could just push paste and it's going to automatically come up. All right. And so pretty much right here, we're pretty much done with the preliminary subtractive EQing process. And another thing when it comes to EQing or anything that you're doing to your track additional, you want to go ahead and balance everything out. Okay, so for instance, if you EQ a certain track or a certain instrument, you want to adjust. Sometimes you might adjust the volume level of that track. So that's one of the things you want to listen for as you're mixing the track. Okay. All right, so in the next lecture, what we're going to do is go over something called additive EQing. That's where we're going to be boosting certain frequencies, primarily so that you can kind of hear the instruments better in the track, okay?
So you want to make electronic dance music, but top quality samples and plugins are expensive, right? Here's the solution. Try WA Production membership and you'll never look back. Don't believe us? Grab a week's membership completely free.